My name is Karina. If you haven't met me before, I'll be presenting the webinar today. And our webinar is on the May 2024 feature releases into the EPP. So we will be covering today in the releases that have come to EPP for Companies, which is the portal where you register your workers for a work site. So its official name is EPP for Companies. So we'll be covering some of the enhancements that have been released into EPP for Companies, and then we'll be moving on to EPP for work sites and some releases that have happened in EPP for work sites. So what I just want to check with everybody today, some names look familiar, but others, I apologise, don't. Do we have, for our participants here, I just want to make sure that our whole content of today is going to suit absolutely everybody. So do we have anybody here who uses the EPP from a contracting company perspective? So you work for like a contracting company and you use our system to just mobilise workers onto a work site, or is everybody here actually from a company that uses the EPP for their work sites? Okay, looks like everybody here uses EPP for Companies as well as EPP for work sites, which means the whole of today's session will be suitable for you. I was just going to say, if you are from a contracting company, just the first part of the training will be particularly useful for you. You could always stay for the second part to sort of see what happens from the work site's point of view if you wanted to, but any of those functions wouldn't actually be available to you. Okay, so before I get started, does anybody have any questions? I know you guys are on mute and can't actually ask them over the webinar, but we do have the chat window. So if you've got any questions, please remember to pop them in the chat window. I will try my hardest to keep an eye on the chat window throughout the session so that I can answer any questions that do come up. Okay, doesn't look like we've got any questions, so we might get started. Team, I'm just going to turn my camera off for the webinar just so that I can ease on my bandwidth. So let me switch that off. There we go, you're off. So let's get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, today's webinar is on May 2024 feature releases in both EPP for Companies and EPP for work sites. We are going to start off with EPP for Companies. So two releases that have gone into EPP for Companies. One is actually a gap. So one of these functionalities, so additional notifications, it was a feature that was available in our old company portal, which wasn't in the new EPP for Companies. So this is a gap, which we've now closed that gap. So I'll show you what that looks like now. And we've also now got a skills matrix, which is available for contracting companies to run on skills for their workers in EPP for Companies. So they're the two features we'll be looking at for that part of our system. We'll then move on to EPP for work sites. And what we're going to be having a look at is employee messages via terminals. So this is also a feature that was previously available in TWMS and is now available in EPP for work sites. So I'll show you how to do that from EPP for work sites. We'll have a look at some changes that have been made to the skills matrix in EPP for work sites. So two changes there that I'll show you. And then something that's changed a little bit in job title matrices as well, just to make your life a little bit easier. We've made a little change to job title matrices. So I'll take you through that in case you go in and run one and think, wow, this looks different. It's because it is. Awesome. Okay, well, let's get into it. So first things first, we'll have a look at as I said, our changes in EPP for companies. So it's this part of the system that I'm talking about. So for any of our work sites here, it would be when you selected manage your company up in the top right, top left-hand corner. Okay. So our first change or our first enhancement that is now available in EPP for companies are additional notifications. So you may recall when using the old portal, I don't know if anyone here still uses the old portal. I was trying to get these screenshots the other day and I was in here using it and I was like, oh my God, this is so clunky. I much prefer the new EPP for companies. It was a lot easier, I found. Anyway, you may disagree, but I found it was a lot easier. But you may remember that as the last step, you were able to add an additional email address for notifications to be sent to. So how our system by default works is that when you send off for a mobilisation to be confirmed, or you're requesting a mobilisation, the responses will go back to administrators within your organisation. Okay, so whoever's set up as an administrator and whoever has those notifications set to receive those notifications, you automatically get any emails regarding that mobilisation. In the old company portal, though, you did have the ability to add an optional email address in here. So if you wanted to add the email address of a worker, you were able to put that email address in there, and then all those notifications would also go to that email address. Okay, so that wasn't available in the new EPP for companies, but it now is. So let me take you through and show you what that looks like. Okay, so let me just jump in. I've got a mobilisation that I've been working on. So I'll jump in here and resume this. So when we get to the end, so we've got ticks and completed all of our steps of our mobilisation, and we go to click pay and send for verification. Our little bulk payment window will come up. I don't have any bulk payments to do. It's going to ask me to click next. Now, this is where normally we put in our, if we had to approve payment, this is where we put the payment in. But what you will now find is a section of this pop-up which allows you to add additional email address for notifications to now go to that email address. Okay, so we would just enter in our email address in here. And click pay and send for verification. And now any emails that get sent in regards to this particular mobilisation will also go to that mobilisation. This isn't sending anywhere, guys, because I did not do a purchase order. Let me just pop in a dummy purchase order. Now it should go. Excellent. Now that email address will receive any notifications. Nice, easy enhancement. That was unfortunately missing from the system, but is now there. Does anybody have any questions in regards to that? Nice, easy one to start off with. No? Wonderful. Okay, team. So that was our first enhancement. Our next enhancement is that skills matrices are now available from EPP for companies. Okay, so from EPP for work sites, we've had skills matrices since day dot, but they weren't available for the contracting companies to be able to create a skills matrix. So they do now have the ability to create their own skills matrix. For anyone from a work site, you can still create a skills matrix in EPP for companies. The difference being, though, is the matrix from EPP for companies, you'll only have access to your employees for your particular company. Okay, that's all you'd be able to include in there. There are a couple of other slight differences that I'll point out to you as we're going through. Okay, so to create a new skills matrix in EPP for companies, where you'll find that is under workforce management, which those that use EPP for work sites, it's in the same menu. So we've got workforce management, and then you'll see we've got the option for skills matrix. Now, how you create a skills matrix in here is exactly the same as how you would create a skills matrix in EPP for company, EPP for worksite, sorry. So you would have the option to create a new skills matrix. Now, it's a 3-step process when it comes to creating a matrix. So step 1 is the matrix data. So here is where you select the work site that you would like to create the matrix for. So that's one of the slight differences from EPP for work sites. Obviously, when you're in your work site, you don't need to select your work site because it already knows that. But as a contracting company, because you would have workers at multiple different work sites, here you do need to select the work site that you would like to create the skills matrix for. So I'll just make that for demo site A. We can then go in and select our employees. Now, when it comes to selecting the employees, you don't have as much options here for those that use EPP for work sites. You don't have options of crews and that type of thing, because obviously those crews are worksite specific, so a contractor wouldn't know what those crews were. Okay, so we've got each of these options. So I can select all employees, only those with a valid induction or registration, employees currently on site. So if your work site does use access control, you can create a skills matrix which feeds into, I guess, time cards, and it'll only populate with workers who have tapped on for the day, which is wonderful. And then employees that have logged on within the last period of time. So you'd say, I know employees that have logged in over the last 3 months. So this is a really great way of reducing the numbers on here and ensuring that you've only got active workers in your skills matrices. And then you can individually select employees if you wanted to. So you select that and then just select each of the employees that you want. So I'm just going to go all employees. You've got an option here, additional settings. Don't show an employee in the matrix if they have none of the skills selected. So that's a really great way of, again, reducing your results. Whether you select this or not, I guess, is going to depend on why you're running that skills matrix. If you're running this skill matrix for a gap analysis so that you can see who doesn't have a skill, then obviously you would want them to show up on your skills matrix. Whereas if I was creating this skills matrix so that I could see who does have a skill and that's all I'm interested in, then I would select this option here so that they're not visible. The next thing that I need to do is select my skills. So the options that we have here is I can individually select skills, or I can select skills. I can do all skills or parent skills, skills with skills codes, all of those types of things. You will need to understand your site's skills to know what to select here. Okay, so you might be interested in finding out who's got a certain type of driver's license potentially. So maybe like a heavy vehicle driver's license, that type of thing. So just understanding what those skills are, which is something that you would be familiar with. It's what those documents that you're uploading. So just think of those names of those documents that you're uploading. And it will select those for you. I'm just going to click this and get that to hurry up a little bit for me. And then I'm going to select these, which is probably not going to give me any results. Well, let me just do this. Being a bit cheeky. Just pop in some skills. Does anybody have any questions as I am going through this? No? Okay. Sorry, it will populate for me. It's just taking its time. Just got my training database has got a lot of data in it, so it's just taking it. It's always a bit fun to go through for me. Okay. Where is irrelevant? Oh, here we go. Now you're giving them HR licenses. Okay, let's. Okay, I don't think any of my workers have any of these skills, but I'm just going to select them so I can pop something in there. Okay, guys, let's hit the next button. Okay, so once we've selected our skills, it'll take us on to step 2, which is our matrix display. So this is the pretty side of the skills matrix. Okay, so this is where we decide what we'd like it to look like. So a skills matrix ultimately is a Excel, it's very similar to an Excel spreadsheet. Okay, now each of your skills is going to populate a column in your skills matrix. Okay, so here is where I can control the order of those columns. Okay, so it's going to put it in here automatically in the alphabetical order that we selected it in. But if that's not how I'd like it to appear, I can just click and drag and change the order of those skills in my matrix. Okay. Now down here, some options that I can select. Crew name won't work in here, but if I'd like their department to also display, their date of birth, their job title, I can have that display in the skills matrix as well. With the skill display, I can have the skill display. So down the bottom here, this is the icon, which is either the tick, the exclamation mark, the expiry date of the skill, and then their skill level, so whether they're competent or not. If I find that a little bit too busy, if I select icons only, then I'll only see the tick or the exclamation mark. Okay, this is all personal preference as to what you would prefer. I also have some additional settings, so I can include the start date of the skill, so it'll let me know the date that it was added to, or the day that it was valid from. I can only show expired skills and skills expiring in the next 90 days, so I can create a skills matrix for that. Don't forget though, team, you do also have the upcoming expiries page in EPP for companies, so you'll already have access to that information, but you can definitely create a skills matrix as well if you prefer that type of view. We can abbreviate the skills, so it just makes this a little less busy down here. And then if you do have skills coming up for expiry, here it'll give you the time frame if you'd like to include that in there as well. Coming down, this is the real pretty side of it. Here is where you control the colors. Okay, so if you find the default colors in the system, you want to change them up a little bit, you definitely can jump in here and customize those colors to suit your needs. Okay, any questions on that? Nope, excellent. Okay, so once you've decided on the display, we then view the skills matrix. Now, I'm pretty sure the skills matrix is not going to have anything in it, which I didn't think it was going to. So let me go into my existing skills matrix that I have created. So when you create a skills matrix, you do have the ability to save that skills matrix. So I can create a skills matrix and run it as a one-off if I wanted to, but I do also have the ability to save a skills matrix and give it a name. So I clicked out of it pretty quickly, but there was a save matrix button. And if I clicked that button, that would then give me the ability to save this matrix. And this is what your matrix will look like. So you'll see here that it's got a breakdown of the statuses of skills. So I've got 10 valid skills. I've got none expiring in the next 90 days. I've got none in progress and none not started. I don't have any expired or any invalid skills, and I don't have any starting in the future. If I did, obviously, I'd be able to see those numbers here. And then if I scroll down into my actual skills matrix, here's where I'll get my worker's name, if they are a part of a crew, job titles. So what job title, because I asked to include job titles on this particular skills matrix. If their induction has an expiry, when that is, and then if they actually have the skill or not. So I think with this particular matrix, I said only give me the workers that do have skills. How I can check that is up the top here, you'll see that I've got a details tab. If I click on, oh no, wrong one, data tab, sorry. So on the data here, I've asked for all employees and don't show any employees in the matrix if they have none of the skills. So this particular matrix, I asked to see that. If I wanted to change that, if I decided that I'd like to actually see everybody, I can unclick that and then click the update button. What will then happen is that my system will go in and amend my skills matrix when it wants to catch up with me. Oh, there we go. And now we could see that it's picking up the new details that we put in there, and now I can see everyone in my system. So it's also showing me those that don't actually have the skill. Okay, again, I can go in and change that. If I go into data, click on that, I can change the employees that I want included. I can add additional skills or change skills in here. All I need to do is click the update button and then it'll update my matrix to show me my new parameters. Does anybody have any questions about that? Nope. Awesome. Okay, team. Under details, this field here is where you've got your visibility. So who can see this matrix that I've created? So currently I have this as only me, so I've made it private, which means when I go into skills matrices, I'm the only person who can actually see this particular skills matrix. But if I wanted to make it public, I can make it public, and what that means is any other administrator to my EPP for company login or instance, they'll be able to see this skills matrix as well. Okay, so you have full control over doing that. Okie doke. So it's either your eyes only or everyone that's got admin access within your instance. Might leave that as me only. With the display, if you're having a look at it and then you decide, oh, I don't like it or my columns aren't in the right order, you can go in and change those columns. Okay, so you do have the ability to do that. Now I'm going to ask the group a question. Maybe someone will know the answer if you've been using skills matrices in EPP for work sites. Does anybody notice what's missing from here that you have in skills matrices in EPP for work sites? Anybody know what's missing up here? Let me know in the chat window if you can spy what's not there. Not sure. Okay. So unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunately, it's for security purposes. From skills matrices in this part of the platform, you can't schedule them out to anybody. Okay, so in EPP for work sites, you do have the ability to set up an email schedule so that it emails them out, but due to security reasons, that functionality is not available in this part of the system. Okay, does that make sense, guys? We are actually going to go and look at skills matrix, the other skills matrix, and we'll actually going to go and specifically look at that. But yeah, just so you know, it's not available here. And the reason being, for security purposes, obviously the data in here is considered private and sensitive. So we need to make sure that only the people who are supposed to see it can actually see it. Okay, any questions in regards to that? So yeah, so that's skills matrices now available in EPP for companies. Good question, got a question. It can have quals. No, you can do them with quals as well. Yeah, definitely have quals in there. 100%, hun. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just like a little hint, quals don't have skill codes. Yeah, reason why quals don't have skill codes. So your worksite skills, appointments, communications will have skill codes. Your quals don't have skill codes because qualifications are universal, and we just don't give them skill codes because then different companies would like different skill codes, so that's why they just don't have skill codes. But yeah, they're definitely available for you to create a skills matrix in your skills matrix. 100%. Good question. Any other questions? No? Okay, we are going to move on to EPP for worksites. So we do have a few new features available in EPP for worksites. So our first enhancement is employee messages via terminals. So team, this was a functionality that was available via TWMS. If anybody here is old enough to have been using TWMS, which is our old platform, or you might still be using it, not come across to EPP for worksites just yet. Well, this function is now available in EPP for worksites. So let's have a look at what that is. So first thing is what I might do is let you know what I'm talking about here, I think, because if it's a functionality you've never used, you might be like, oh, Corinne, I have no idea what you're talking about. So employee messages via terminals, what that refers to is it is for our clients that use our hardware for access control. Okay, so what our system gives you the ability to do is to send a message to the terminals, and when an employee signs on, they will receive that message. So let's go and have a look at a message. So I do have a terminal on my computer, and let me log in. Who shall we log in as today? I think we'll log in as this person. Okay. So Harvey's coming to work today, ladies. So we're going to log in. Okay, I've got a questionnaire set up on this terminal as well, team. So these questionnaires were quite popular back in the COVID times. But in case you didn't know, if you are using our hardware and you are using access control with our hardware, you do have the ability to add a questionnaire to a terminal which will ask that worker that question each day. And with those questions, you can program specific controls into that. So let's say I answered no to this, then you can decide what you want to do if someone answers no, that type of thing. I'm going to say that I haven't, or yes, sorry, I haven't got any COVID symptoms, so I'm going to say no. Okay, so team, this is the message that I have set up to send to the terminal. Okay, so I wrote this message just to remind Harvey that he needs to complete his safety level 3 training. Okay, so before Harvey can actually sign on to the site, he needs to acknowledge this. Okay, if he doesn't acknowledge it, he won't be able to sign on to site. So Harvey on the terminal would click OK. Oops, Harvey's also been selected for a drug test today, guys. So he'll also need to attend his drug test. So we'll have him agree to that. And then Harvey's now been accepted or been logged on to site. Okay, so our message that we were looking at in particular was that message in regards to that training. Okay. Does anybody currently use that functionality, like they've been using it via TWMS? Anyone here? Give me a thumbs up if you have been using it. No? Anyone think it could be useful on your sites to send messages? So you can, they're targeted messages. Okay, so these messages go to specific workers. Awesome, Emily. Excellent. Okay, guys, so this is what it looked like in TWMS if you did use it in TWMS. Okay, so in our old system, that's what it looked like. Now this is what it looks like in our new system. Okay, so I am just going to go back into Manage Your Worksite now, team, because we are back in EPP for worksites. Now, to be able to do this functionality, you do need to have a specific permission. Okay, you do need to have a specific permission. So what I'm going to do is show you where that specific permission is. So if we go into system settings and then go into user login accounts, and then I'm just going to bring up Karina Spector. And we'll have a look at Karina Spector's login account. So under permissions and access, under workforce management, you will see that there is a permission here, which is messaging. So this permission is new. And here, send messages to employees via terminals on site. Okay, so for you to have access to this, you do need to have this selected. Okay, if someone within your organization doesn't already have it, so just a reminder on how permissions work within our system. If you don't have access to something, you can't give that access to somebody else. Okay. Team, if anybody would like this access, if you want to just put your name and your company in the chat window for me, and I will organise that access for you, and I'll email you to let you know that you've got that access, because if no one within your organisation has it, you won't be able to get it. So I'll do that for you, and then you'll be the gatekeeper. So yeah, so we just need to make sure that we've got that access, okay? Now, once you've got that access, what that means is when you go into workforce management and then you scroll right down the bottom, you'll see you've got an option here, send message to employees. Okay, so we select that. And what we just write, it's like we're writing an email. So here we would put in our subject. So here we'll put working at Heights Training. And then we put our body of our message. Then we select the date and time that we would like this message available from. Okay, now team, anyone using our terminals, you're probably aware that some things take overnight to appear on your terminals. Your terminals aren't constantly talking with your database. Now, there's a very, very good reason for that. Does anybody know why some things take overnight to appear on your terminals? So it's like our terminals do a sync overnight. It happens at around 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so the reason why that sync happens at 2 a.m. in the morning and not everything is instant on your terminals is because if everything was instant on your terminals, those terminals would not work if they were offline. Okay, so what that means is if your internet goes down, your terminals would not work at all. Okay, so your terminals are designed so that they can do the really important functions that need to happen all day, every day, even when they're offline. Okay, so if the internet goes down, you'll still be able to tap people on, and it sort of picks up the data from that upload that happened at around 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so whatever data got put onto your terminal at 2 a.m. in the morning, that's what it's going to read off. Okay, so that's why the system does that. Okay, so it can work when it's offline. Okay, so what you'll need to do with these messages, just make sure you do them the day before. Okay, so that they go in that run at 2 a.m. in the morning, and then they're available for your workers the next day. So we would select our date here. So we'll say I want it from tomorrow, and then my time. So I'd like this, nice, let's go. People logging in from 2 a.m. and then what date would I like this message to end at? So I'm going to remind my workers for a week and give them a week of reminders. Guys, once a worker acknowledges a message, that's it. The message won't go to them again. Okay, so send the message, they click the OK button, that they've read it. They won't get that message every day. Okay, that does go, give it, they get the opportunity to read it once. Okay, it would get annoying if it kept going to them every day of the week. So yeah, they'll just read it once. So we'll just say we want it to run over this period. And then here is where I select my employees. So team, this is where I said these messages are targeted. So here is where you would select exactly who you would like to receive this message. So you just select those workers' names here. Team, what will be coming to this in the future is the ability to select all from here, as well as crews. Okay, so currently you do just need to select each individual worker, but in future releases, I'm not sure of the timeline of them, but in future releases, it'll pull from crews, and then you'll also have a select all as well. Okay, so what we do is we select our workers, and then we just click create message. And then when any of those workers log on during that period of time that we selected here, they will receive that message, and then before they can log in, they'll just need to click the OK button. Does anybody have any questions about that? No? Awesome. Okay, guys, now don't forget, if it's something that you'd like that you don't currently have, just let us know in the chat window. I will set up your permission for you. Okay, what's next? Skills matrices. So team, we've got a couple of enhancements to skills matrices in EPP for worksites. Okay, so let me just bring up a skills matrix. So where we'll find skills matrices is under workforce management. You'll see we've got an option for skills matrix. To be able to access skills matrices, though, you do need to be at least a level 2 or a level 3 user. Okay, so you do need to be a level 2 or a level 3 user. I'm just going to jump into this top skills matrix because the changes that we have made, or the enhancements that we've made to this part of the system, are all done from existing, or can be done from existing. Okay, so here is my skills matrix. It's a nice little one. So the first enhancement that we've got, now remember how I said from EPP for companies, you can't schedule out skills matrices, but from EPP for worksites, you can. So you'll see up the top here, I've got a tab for schedule email. So what this functionality gives you is the ability to actually schedule out an email of your skills matrix, okay? Now, each time you go into a saved skills matrix, the skills matrix is going to update you with the data from that point in time, okay? But what you can also do is schedule a skills matrix out. Now, when you schedule a skills matrix out, what it will do is send a Excel version of this skills matrix. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out where that's going to open up at. Oh, we're going to open up over here. Okay, so this is what it will email out. Okay, and the data that appears on here will be the data that is in the system at the point of time of when you've scheduled that matrix out. Okay, so at whatever time that is. So scheduling a skills matrix has been something that's been around since day dot. So that's not what's new about this, but there is a new field when you schedule out a skills matrix, and it's this field here. Okay, so we've always been able to put a subject. We've always been able to enter in the frequency of our schedule, the time that we'd like it sent, and our recipients. So who we would like to receive the email. Can I get it? Nope. I don't think I'm on here. Karina Spector, no, that's not going to come to me. But yeah, you can send it out. So I'm just trying to find something that's going to send to me so I can show you what it looks like. But I don't think I'm on here anywhere. Clarice, I'm going to send this to you. Can you forward me the email, please, Clarice? Appreciate that. So yeah, so we pop in here our subject. When we'd like it to go. So we'll just say we want it to go daily at 11:45. So that's in a few minutes. And then we can put an optional message. So this is the new enhancement. So this allows you to add a message that would go into the body of the email that is sent out to the recipients. Okay, so please find today's skills matrix. Okay. We can add message and then click the update button. And then what will happen is when this skills matrix schedule generates an email, whatever I've entered in here will appear on that email. Okay. Now, hopefully Clarice will get that while we're in training, and she might be able to send it to me. If you could let me know in the chat window if you do get that, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Just waiting for it. I don't have it yet.
I don't have it yet. It might be because we're a couple of minutes out.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, we're a couple of minutes out, so maybe that's why. But yeah, I'm not on the list here, so I'm not going to get it. But all good. All good. So yeah, so it allows you to put in a body of an email. Does anybody have any questions in regards to that? No? Okay. So the second enhancement that has come to skills matrices is in the download version. So the version of the skills matrix that is available via like the Excel version. There is a new field in here, assigned by field. Okay, so if you're printing out these matrices and you need them to be signed off, in the top left-hand corner, you will now find a signed by section. So here you'll be able to enter in their name, their place for their signature, their name, position, and their date. Thank you, JP. Awesome. Okay, guys, so here is the email with the matrix attached to it. So here you'll see what I've written, and the message now appears on that email. So awesome. Cool. Thanks, JP. Okay. Excellent. Does anybody have any questions in regards to that? Okay, so now you're able to print this off, have it signed if you need that. No? Awesome. Okay, team, we are on to our last enhancement, or our last feature release, which it has to do with job title matrices. So let's go and have a look at what actually is a job title matrix. So a job title matrix is a matrix which is very, very similar to a skills matrix. The difference is that the skills on the job title matrix are already populated for you, because it pulls from your TNA of all of your different job titles. Okay. You will find a job title matrix under workforce management. So if we go workforce management, job title matrix. Here are some job title matrices that we have created in the past. I'm going to have a look at this arborist one. So for this arborist job title, we've got this job title matrix, sorry, we've got two different job titles as a part of this job title matrix. One is an electrician and one is a truck driver. So quite odd, but yep. And what we can then do with these is expand on them. And for this particular matrix, we've had it based off a crew, and we've said in this crew, I'd like to know if these people have this particular job title. And I can see that these people don't have a job title. Now, our enhancement that is coming through is going to eliminate this. Okay, so the new enhancement will actually stop you from selecting workers to be part of a job title matrix that don't actually have that job title, okay? Because here we've selected people who don't have the job title, okay? So the new enhancement is going to stop you from being able to do that. Let's go down and have a look at this particular job title matrix though, because it's got some data in it. So here again, we've got our workers. This is the job title. I can see that Mike's not valid. And the reason why he's not valid is because he hasn't completed this requirement yet. Okay, whereas Harvey, he does have his valid job title because he has completed everything. Okay, so job title matrices are a wonderful tool for you to look at your gap analysis in regards to job titles. Okay, so let's go in and have a look at where this enhancement has been added to the system. So we're going to create a new matrix. Now, it's already picked my work site because I'm from that work site, but here's where I would select my employees. I'm going to select my employees by crew, and then I'm going to select, let's go with this crew here. Okay, we'll select this crew. Now, what's going to happen is when we go to select our actual job titles, the job titles this list is going to bring up all job titles for us. But what we're going to see when it populates is that some are going to be grayed out and we aren't able to select those job titles. So here you can see that these are grayed out. It's not letting me select them. But if I scroll down, I'm then coming to some job titles which are available for me to select. Okay, so what the job title matrix now does, in the past, it allowed you to select any job title for any worker, whether they had that job title or not. We've now put in smarts into this field, which look at the group of workers that you've selected up here, and will now only allow you to select job titles where at least one person in that group of workers has that job title. Okay, so if you've been using this functionality and then you come in here and you're like, it's broken, it's not letting me select things, it isn't broken, guys. Good news is it isn't broken. It's actually been enhanced to save you time so that you only select the job titles that are actually relevant to your group of workers. Okay, so I can see I've got two job titles relevant to this group of workers. Here I go, don't show any employee in the matrix if they don't have the job title selected. So here I can take them out. We're going to click the next button. And then just like a skills matrix, I can set the display of the matrix. I'm going to leave as is. And then I view my matrix. And then from viewing my matrix, I have then the ability to save the matrix if I wanted to. So here I can go in and have a look at Damstra staff or electricians? So who's got electricians? I've only got one worker who's got that particular job title, and it's not valid. She's got the job title, it's not quite valid yet. So yeah, nice change there to make your lives easier. Any questions in regards to the job title matrix and that change with it now only allowing you to select job titles related to the group of workers that you've got? No questions? Awesome. Okay, guys, so they are the enhancements that or the feature releases that came this month. So just to review them again, we've got EPP for companies, where you have additional notifications, where you can add email addresses in now, and skills matrices for companies. And then for EPP for work sites, we can do messages via terminals. Thank you, Rachel. I will set that up for you, hun. We've got skills matrices, optional messages, and the signature field, and then the job title changes so that it only shows you job titles relevant to the group of people that you've selected. Now, any last opportunity for any questions? No? Awesome. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Please look out for any new. I know we've got some really good enhancements coming very, very soon. Fingers crossed, to the learning calendar, which manages your face-to-face inductions. I'm super excited for this. So please keep an eye out for when that webinar comes out. I'm pretty sure you'll be excited. If that's a functionality used in our system, you'll be excited about those feature releases that are coming to that. So please keep an eye out for that. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. Bye.